Away.
Good afternoon, everybody. Apologize for the delay. That is on me. And the process of going to get my kid. There was a wreck on the bridge, that only bridge out of town. So if we get in fire, I'm done. But
Type of town
Right.
you live in.
it was the only bridge out of town, and it was a big wreck. So I spent an hour on that bridge.
Mm,
I'm really familiar with it now. So I think I counted all the rivets too.
that's good. That's good. You're very observant.
Yeah.
I'm big on observation.
Yeah, that one bridge out of town. Well, it's two, one, but they're always backed up. So we're going to talk about Mr. Johnson. Sorry, Miss Johnson.
You Johnson.
Anyway, we'll be back. Don't go nowhere. We'll be here momentarily. Okay. I have a question for Coy and Bro.
Mm.
How much evidence did they have to impeach Trump?
Phone call.
Purple.
Purple.
The color purple. That's what they had.
They had purple on him.
They had the
They
color
had
purple.
nothing.
All right, so let's start here. We're going to
Hearsay.
start with the Article 2, S4.1.1, impeachment and removal from office overview. Okay, this is what it says. The president, vice president, and all civil officers in the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, and other high crimes and misdemeanors.
Mm-hmm.
The Constitution gives Congress the authority to impeach and remove the president, vice president, and all federal officers for treason, bribery, high crimes, and misdemeanors. A tool was inherited from English practice in the Parliament, which the Parliament impeached and convicted ministers and favorites of the crown in the struggle for the reign of the crown's power. So let us take a gander at the tools here. So we have treason, bribery, and other high crimes.
Yes.
Do any of those fit Mr. Biden?
Oh, yes, definitely.
At least some misdemeanors. At the very least, we're talking about very least.
Does the vice president have the right to keep, or even the senator, does he have the right to keep confidential documents?
No.
The vice president? No.
No, the vice president. No.
Oh, has Biden ever been president before now?
No.
No, he hasn't.
Okay.
Is a senator supposed to have documents
No.
that are supposed to be secret and kept in safe places?
The president can, however. Okay, just people understand this.
And has plenary declassification power.
Right.
Yeah.
So first, we're going to listen to a couple of things to see if there's a impeachable offense by way of bribery. And I know what people are going to say. He was not president when this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. He wasn't president when it happened. We'll give you that. So let's listen to it anyway, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
I remember going over convincing our team or others to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I'm not going to, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was 6 hours. I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch.
He got fired.
And they put in place someone who was solid.
It was solid.
It was solid at the time. At the time, he also goes on to say, at the time, he was solid at the time.
They put someone in place with a little.
Who was solid.
Little push. Go this way.
Okay, so let's analyze some things. Let's okay, and I'm going to get to what I think of Mr. Johnson a bit, But let's analyze whether or not that is an offense that can carry over to his presidency.
Mhm.
So would you consider then the money that he's sending to Ukraine a form of bribery?
Yeah,
Yes.
I would definitely consider it.
Yes.
Number two, if you are still receiving funds from a certain family venture that is not linked to you. Now, this is what he keeps saying, right?
Right.
He doesn't have any. This is how they.
I don't know
paint
anything
them.
about this.
Yeah, this is how they paint themselves in that corner, right? I
Yeah.
don't have anything to do with it, but I'll take their check. So
Mhm.
let's.
Unless it's your brother. I took a $250,000 check from my brother. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not a bribe, or it's a repayment. It's a repayment, right? It's a repayment.
So let's read 40K. President Biden received $40,000 in laundered funds from Chinese government linked to CEFC China Energy, according to the memo released Wednesday on the House Oversight Committee. The alleged 2017 transfer from first brother James and up to the future president involves some of the same business deals in which Joe was called the big guy. Of course, we covered this in the laptop, but again, they keep going back to the fact that this happened before he was president.
Yeah.
So, is Johnson correct in saying that there is no impeachable there
There's no
because
impeachable
of
there.
time of service as a president?
No, that's not true.
If he wasn't president, technically, if he did this and he wasn't president, technically he's right. Technically, he is correct. But ex facto, they went after the man for things before he was president.
Before he was president, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a crazy world we live in right here.
I know, right? And they also tried to impeach Donald Trump the second time after he was already voted out of office. So.
Right.
But it was
now,
when he was in office.
When it says high crimes and misdemeanors, let us first find out what a misdemeanor is. Okay. So a misdemeanor is a misdeed, a criminal offense that is less serious than a felony and generally punishable by a fine, a jail term of up to 1 year, or both ill behavior, conduct, or fault. So let's look at President Joe Biden. Is there a rule? McCoy, you may know this, bro, you may know this. Is there a rule forbidding your possessing of funds from a family venture or your own personal venture during your time of presidency?
Is there a what?
Is there a law that prohibits you from receiving funds like that while a president? From a personal business?
From your personal business? Or no, I don't think. Is there?
Trump had to sign off his business. He couldn't be head of it when he was president, remember?
It's a conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Did Hunter Biden sell artwork in the White House?
Yes.
Is the White House
Yeah.
is the White House made for such a venture?
No.
Would you consider that a misdemeanor?
That would be considered a misdemeanor because you're conducting, like you said, personal business deals.
Yeah.
In the government's house.
Last question, and then we'll go into the more robust discussion. Is your name being used to promote a certain type of person, namely people like Hunter? Currently, which is, and trust me, this is current. This is not when he was a vice president. We're talking about right now. Is your name being tossed around in circles of influence when money is being talked about? Is that a misdemeanor?
Yes.
Okay.
That can be.
So again, what information more do they need to file impeachment papers?
They don't. They have all the evidence they need. They have, like, this is the thing the left's been doing. They're like, there's no evidence that Biden's done anything wrong or that he's connected to any of these business dealings at all, or he knew anything about these things. That's what they keep defending him with. He knew nothing
Here,
about the money.
and here's the thing with the left. You have to understand, their playbook, right? So when a whole Hunter laptop thing came out, you kept hearing from the left, the laptop doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. That's just a witch hunt. That's this. And then it comes out, it says, well, the laptop does exist.
Yeah.
And then they were backpedaling. So it's the same playbook. They're doing the same thing for Biden because they're trying to fool the people. They know that it's an impeachable offense. But politically, they're like, we can't come out and say this. We have to stick to our guns. We have to stay grounded in what we're telling the people. And we're going to continue to say that it's not, even though they know it is. It's all politics.
There is a preponderance of evidence to show that Biden has been not just corrupt, but also been influenced by certain foreign powers, namely Ukraine being one of the biggest ones, right? His son was deeply involved in money laundering in Ukraine with Burisma, the gas company, right? And so now our facilitation of their defense war against Russia could be said as a quid pro quo of what it was before in his vice presidency. And it's enough evidence to look and at least investigate if they were threatening the White House with revealing damaging information on the Bidens, namely, and their business dealings in Ukraine for foreign aid, military aid, and munitions.
Okay. So we have so far we're just podcasters, right? Last time I checked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have nearly the kind of resources that the Congress and the Senate has, right?
No.
Or police. Okay, good. How much do you think one painting for Hunter Biden would have sold for?
$5.
About tree
Like,
fitting
on the street?
Let's say based on his skill, how much you think he'd get paid?
Based on his skill
do we
alone,
have
I
one?
mean, maybe
Do we have
$20.
one to let the people decide?
Someone said zero.
Hunter Biden's painting.
He sold one for $225K.
Jesus. Well, we got to see this painting. Is this like Picasso or something?
Oh, it's even better than Picasso.
Oh, it's better than Picasso.
Oh yeah, Picasso ain't got nothing on this guy.
It's abstract like that?
No, better than abstract like that.
Oh man.
No.
Oh, okay. You're bringing up the same one I was about to bring up.
Oh, looks like something my niece will paint.
Look at that.
They're abstract paintings.
What is it?
$225K
for that.
For those. Okay, so here's my other question then. You have a son that you've facilitated him coming to the White House to sell paintings when you should not be doing that. That's completely out of order. They're going to say, well, there's probably no law against it, but I'm pretty sure that there is. I have to find the article that it would be falling under, unless Coy knows off the top of his head, or Bro knows it off the top of his head, but I don't know it off the top of my head. But I do remember them trying to get mad at Mr. What's his name? Ivanka's husband, Kushner.
Yeah. Jared Kushner.
Yeah, for making certain business deals on his own.
Yeah. Namely in the Middle East. Yeah, with the Saudis.
So that would be an impeachable kind of thing, or even jail time kind of thing. But this is completely fine. So if the White House got money from $250K or $225, I don't want to misquote your number. If $225K is what somebody got from the selling of items in the White House, would that be considered profit that they should not be taking as a president of the United States?
Yeah.
So we've got 2 impeachable offenses already. We got 1 misdemeanor and 1 count of treason. If we don't count the bribery. But then we can count the bribery, because if you watch Zelensky's latest stunt talking about how you need to send us money, blah, blah, blah. And he also said, send us money or your children will suffer. Remember that one? And they got the money. I'm just saying that sounded a whole lot like bribery to me.
It was.
I don't think bribery has to go just one way either, does it?
No.
No, it
Okay.
can go both ways.
Oh,
Definitely.
okay. So we found
just look at
three.
the dude that had the gold bars and stuff.
So now we have three impeachable offenses. So how is Mike Johnson right when he says he doesn't have enough information to start an impeachment inquiry?
Because Mike Johnson's a Judas. He's part of the team, man. You know, they put a face up there that's nice, that everybody likes. He's saying the right things, but deep down inside, he knows where his loyalty stands. We thought the same thing. I mean, not all of us, but the same thing. Well, what's the last guy? What was his name?
Yeah.
He's forgettable.
McCarthy.
But yeah, McCarthy.
Yeah.
Everybody,
McCarthy.
there were some people out there all happy that McCarthy got in, and there was other people that called him for his crap. And look what happened. Same thing's going to happen here. They're going to figure him out, and he's going to get the band hammer. So,
yeah,
he's part of their team. He's part of the squad.
I remember his opening speech. God this, God that, America first, and then the first thing he does is bring a bill to send money elsewhere.
Yeah. Get the Israel package needed to get out, right? That was like why they were so upset that they didn't have a Speaker of the House.
And you saw how slick he was, right? He was like, "We're going to take it from the IRS," because he knows how bad the American people can't stand the IRS. So he had to make someone the villain. And he was like, "We're going to take it from the IRS and we're going to give it to Israel." People didn't hear the part really about giving it to Israel. All they heard was IRS.
We're taking them from the IRS.
You're taking IRS. Okay. You know, the rest of it is just it's out in the ether somewhere. They didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Us free thinkers heard it. We like, wait, what?
What?
But the question is, did he?
What did he say?
Is that where he got the money from, though?
That's where they're getting the money, because Congress has the ability to allocate funds and resources how they wish.
I know they say that, but I'm asking, do we know for sure that's where they took the money from?
We'll never know, because they keep that behind closed doors. But that's what they're saying they're doing. They're saying they're pulling money from the IRS and then giving it to Israel, which is still weird.
How are they pulling? Okay, the money they pulled from the IRS. Where's that money coming from?
You.
The taxpayers. It's not the IRS. It's us. But he had to throw it in there because a lot of people's brains don't, the wheels don't spin in a lot of Americans' heads.
It's still your money.
All he said was the IRS. And we're like, oh, yeah, he's taking money from the IRS. No, dummy. He's taking it from you.
He's still robbing it from your pocket and handing it to the Israelis. That's exactly what they're doing. They're like the same thing they've been doing for the past 2 years with Ukraine. Is like, we're going to be taking this money that you gave us to do things for you, and we're going to give it to all these other people because F you. That's why. Just no other reason. Just we hate you.
And you know how we're going to make you guys pay it back? We're going to raise up the prices on everything and blame it on something else. Yeah. It's just.
I am so glad that our property taxes go up for school systems that can't even educate our kids.
Isn't that great? I know, right?
Oh man, it's a great thing.
Oh, okay, so let's focus now, since we have our investigative side out of the way, and we found three. We don't even have papers. We don't have credentials. We don't have access to classified docs. We don't even have records of his bank, but they do. Congress does. So let's focus on Mikey for a minute here. Who really wanted him to be president, to be a Speaker of the House?
Nobody. He was just the last pick that everybody could agree on. He was the last draft pick. That's what Mike Johnson is.
So Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah. He was just some guy they pulled out a hat.
Like, I would have preferred Jim Jordan over Mike Johnson. Like, for sure. Like, I don't know why that. Just like the Democrats were so upset that they thought Jim Jordan might be the Speaker of the House. He's such an insurrectionist. He cannot be allowed to run the House. That was all that.
Mike did the same thing, if not worse.
Yeah.
Like he said way worse things when he was still a member of the House, wasn't he?
Yeah. Supposedly.
So am I right in assuming that he's a RINO?
Yeah.
Because I thought, hear me out, and this might be me just being, Marlon as usual. I understand that some people say you don't fight fire with fire. I could see that in some cases, but I think in this one you have to beat fire with like gasoline. And here's why. For 4 years, and well, it's still going on. Not we're at 6 now. 6 years.
Mhm.
They have done everything they can to go after an opponent, and we, just like good little boys and girls, sit down in the corner and say, "Oh, we can't do anything because I don't want to offend, and I don't." This is exactly how they got us here to begin with us being, "Oh, I can't. Oh, we don't have enough info. We don't want to be like them." No, please be like them. Please be like the Democrats for once in your life. Be like the Democrats and be upset.
Yeah. This is 3 months ago.
We've talked about the House or start playing by their rule book too. We've said that before on this podcast. In order to beat them, we have to play by their rules. And like Marlon said, it's usually like us on the right are a little like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to be like them. We have to start. I'm telling you.
You got to start bringing in the hammer, man.
Yeah.
So this is back in July, right before he was ever even considered Speaker of the House.
And you've all seen it on display all day long. They've been doing exactly that. They've been trying to bully and defame our witnesses and try to cover up their opinions. They actually began the hearing with a motion to prevent them from testifying. You can't make this stuff up. It's on broad display for everybody. They did the same thing yesterday in the hearing with the IRS whistleblowers. You know why? Because the Democrats are panicked right now. They're panicked because it's impossible to cover up the inescapable conclusions of the last few weeks. Let me give you 2 of them. First, one, the hard evidence, Mr. Goldman and everybody else, now proves that the Biden family is hopelessly corrupt and has apparently engaged in a long pattern of extortion, bribery, influence peddling, and tax fraud and staggering abuses of power. And number 2, we're highlighting here today that we now know that a growing list of the most important executive branch agencies of the Biden administration are in on it. They've also been corrupted. They've been weaponized to help cover all this up, the first family's crimes. When we summarize all this stuff, it sounds like a premise of a dystopian novel or something, but it's actually happening right now on our watch. This is not conspiracy theories, this is evidence. Our hearing.
This is evidence. This is just 3 months ago. This is evidence. How amazing is that he can memory hole 3 months in testimony that's on the record in Congress? Yeah. You muted, Mike.
Just stop lying on the man. You're wrong. Stop lying. Okay, just stop your filthy lying on Mr. Johnson. He said that just because there's evidence don't mean he should be impeached. That's what he's saying. Yeah. Learn to listen, Coy.
Yeah. I gotta listen. Like, let's listen to the rest of this. This is brilliant.
Today is to put a spotlight on one more of these incredible avenues of unprecedented corruption and government cover-up. And here again, a federal court has just affirmed all that hard evidence. It proves that the White House, the Department of Justice, and the FBI, among other agencies, threatened and coerced the social media platforms to censor and suppress disfavored viewpoints and conservatives' social media posts online. I'm grateful we have with us today 2 individuals, Mr. Ken.
Pause. Yeah. Treason, bribery, high crimes.
Crimes and misdemeanors, yeah.
Let's go with something here. I want to look this word up because I don't know nothing. I'm just a dummy.
Yep.
Let's look up the word treason. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people say that's not the definition that applies to the Constitution and to the impeachment process. The betrayal of allegiance towards own country. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So on that point, could giving foreign aid to other countries, while not helping your own people in your country, could that be considered treasonous based on the definition?
It's for foreign policy, right? That's because we need to protect our foreign policy and our interests overseas.
No, the question is, would it be considered treason?
It should be.
Yeah, but you both are jumping the gun real quick because it adds one more very important piece.
Mm-hmm.
especially by committing hostile acts against it or aiding its enemies in committing such.
Yep.
Mm.
Is
Mhm.
okay.
Wait.
Is Iran our enemy?
Oh
Yeah.
man, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
oh.
Mhm.
Oh.
Did he pay Iran?
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Times in 2 different administrations. Yeah.
So
Oh
so
my
there's so that's
God.
4. We got treason to add to it. Okay, hold
Yeah.
on. Hold on.
Let, let's not even forget that Trump is currently being investigated, and also like them keep spouting it over and over in Georgia that he was subverting the election. He's an election denier. He was subverting the election. Then what do you call the suppression of legitimate news information that could have damaged your campaign enough that it would have swung 15% of the electorate in
Um,
favor of Donald Trump?
tampering.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Election
Or using federal agencies to censor First Amendment protected speech in
Oh,
favor of your political campaign.
Mm.
hold on. Second definition: the betrayal of someone's trust or confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's been going on for the last three years.
So Donald Trump is subverting the election, but these people in running their shadow campaign. You remember that in the New York Times? They even ran it. There was a shadow campaign to fortify the election. Actual headline that they went with. They were fortifying the election. They weren't changing the rules or anything like that. We weren't subverting the election. We were fortifying it, right? That's what they were doing. They're fortifying the election.
And back to giving money to Iran. So if Biden did it, it's treasonous. Didn't somebody else do that though too?
Yeah.
Before him?
Who?
Yeah.
So it's tall, skinny black guy.
Not Big Mike.
Yeah, he did it too.
He did on
Oh
a
my
pallet.
God. Yes.
Pallet full of cash.
And then they get on their world stage and talk about how bad Iran is, our enemies. They
Our
are
enemies.
a threat. And then they give them money, which under the definition that you read, they are helping the enemy. What they said, who they said was the enemy.
Yeah.
They're helping them.
They have been doing deals with them for
treasonous. Wait a minute. Wait. Didn't Gavin Newsom go to China?
Yeah.
China.
A governor
Didn't he
of
go
California.
to China and talk to China? And aren't they always telling us how China's this threat and China's our enemy?
Yeah.
So if you're saying China's our enemy, why do we have elected officials going over there playing basketball? What are they talking about?
Yeah.
Why did
Gavin
be
Newsom?
a form of treason? If we're talking about treason, and we can just start going down the line.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we or are we not adversaries with Iran and China?
No, we're friends.
Yeah, we're gonna have a dinner with them.
We're homies
next week.
They're my peeps.
They're invited to the
out.
White House.
We're gonna
barbecue.
pour one out for my homies, for Iran.
They're gonna be invited to the White House picnic where they're gonna have pizza and hot dogs.
Pizza, hot dogs, and goats.
With red sauce.
Right. So
you know what I mean, America.
Do you want to hear the rest of his BS?
Yeah, just I want to hear some more because there's something I think that might be coming.
Because this is literally just 3 months ago. This is just in the summer in July.
Kennedy and Ms. Harris, who were directly impacted by that censorship, and the third, Mr. Sauer, who we're about to speak with, serving as lead counsel in the landmark lawsuit against the federal government on this issue. Let's talk facts. The American people are not aware of the magnitude of this case, Mr. Sauer, and its profound implications, because most of the mainstream media is in on it too, and they're trying to bury the story. In brief, in May of last year, the attorneys general of my state, Louisiana, and the state of Missouri filed suit in U.S. District Court of the Western District of Louisiana. This blatant censorship. They went after the blatant censorship by the Biden White House in 9 of its federal agencies. 2 weeks ago on Independence Day, the district court issued a truly extraordinary 155-page court opinion, a ruling granting the plaintiff's request for preliminary injunction. Mr. Sauer, your lead counsel in that litigation. You referenced some in your opening statement, but let's do it again here because they don't seem to be paying attention. Can you give a summary again of some of the key components of that opinion and the basis for it? I know you mentioned there were 82 pages of detailed factual findings, right?
That is correct. 82 pages, 577 citations of the record evidence. That evidence is drawn from about 20,000 pages of the government's own communications with social media platforms and
No
6
evidence.
full-length depositions of
No
senior
evidence.
federal officials with firsthand knowledge of federal censorship
Okay.
practices.
I think we've heard
Absolutely staggering. And now they've tried to bury this.
ample information to prove that he knew exactly all
Mhm.
the info before he got headship of the House, and now
Yeah.
after he got headship of the House. It's just look. We've been doing it. Look, there's not enough there.
No, it's not.
Hmm.
It's not there.
Yeah. There's no evidence.
Now compare this to Mr. Trump, who spoke to Iran directly, who has never sent money to Iran. Has he ever sent money to Iran?
No.
No.
Oh, he
He,
did.
he just killed one of their top generals. No big deal.
Oh, that's what it was.
He actually asked other countries to pay more money. We're not sending any.
You mean this speech here?
Habib, Majid,
Bakar,
Baghdadi,
he died like a dog.
dog died like a dog. Don't
He
cry.
cried. He cried so
Cry.
hard. If I was there, I wouldn't have cried. Okay.
I wouldn't have cried.
We paid Iran in a multiple $1,000 missile into one of their top generals. That's how we paid under Trump.
Yeah.
That's what we paid them.
But you ever ask the question? I asked the question. How come the people don't vote for the Speaker of the House?
The
You
people.
wanna-
You ever wonder that? Like,
That would
you know,
be a
they're
nice
gonna.
position.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that would be a nice position. We probably should vote for the Speaker of the House.
But you know, if we know it's coming up, you know, and they're always talking about a new speaker, they can easily set up an election day to where we vote. Let the people pick it. And I
Yep.
guarantee if the people would have picked, we would have had Jim Jordan or what's
Yep.
his name, Byron.
Well, even then, it's like Speaker of the House doesn't have to be an elected official. Like
No.
it can be anybody. It's just whoever is voted in as Speaker.
And this is why you understand, like, even with this Johnson guy, he's picked. He's
Yeah.
picked specifically. If they let the people vote, they know it's not going to go their way a lot of times. So they're going
Right.
to put their person in who's going to play by their rules that they can coerce, because the people pay attention a lot more. We're seeing things from the outside. You
Yeah.
know, we're watching what they do for the people. We're not, these people are all buddy, man. We always say it. They're all friends. They all go to dinners together. They have Christmases together. It's not like they hate each other. They act like they do, but they
Yeah.
don't. You know, at the end of the day, they're all friends, and they're like, "Hey, buddy, hey, Mike, what's going on, man? How the kids? Hey, I got you on that vote tomorrow. Okay, man, thanks." You know, it's all
Yeah.
a game.
It's all a game.
I think before we listen to President Trump being serious, I think we need to listen to somebody else being hilarious with President Trump's voice. Just because, okay?
I love.
Anyway, for real though, it was my favorite speech I've ever seen a president give. It was the night the United States killed the leader of ISIS. Trump comes out of the Situation Room at like midnight in the White House, and he walks down that fucking tunnel like and gives a press conference like he's giving a post-game NBA just killed a guy press conference. He walks up in front of the entire world at midnight and just goes, "Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead. He died like a dog."
He died like a dog.
He died like a dog. If I was there, I wouldn't be crying. He cried very hard.
He cried very
Crying
loud.
baby Baghdadi is what we were calling him.
Yeah.
Baby Baghdadi.
But that is exactly why we were safe under Trump, because nobody knew what he would actually do. Because like, if you're so random that even your enemies are like, man, I really don't want to mess with him because he might do something. He might, not that he will. He could do something.
Couldn't do it.
I could do something, and then I'm gonna go up there, and for historical record, I'm gonna say you died like a dog. You know, just like that's gonna be on the history books. It's like, yeah, he said you died like a dog. Like he just like you said, post game, like that's how
did
you
that.
died, and that was the last thing that was ever said about you in the history books. Congratulations.
That's rough. That's so rough. You can't imagine someone in the 30 years from now reading about Baghdadi. He died like a dog right next to his name.
and Trump said, and I quote, he died like a dog.
He's going to be long gone. We're all going to be.
That was the end of ISIS.
He's going to be long gone, and we're all going to be senior citizens, and we're going to be sitting back in our rocking chairs talking about, remember that guy that died like a dog?
Like a dog.
Dad,
And that's what he's going to be remembered as, the guy that died like a dog that Trump made fun of after he killed him. Brilliant.
There are very few people that could get on the world stage, too. I know y'all might bring Vivek into this, but until I see Vivek do what this man is about to do, just listen, as much as I've changed my tune about him in terms of election, and you all know why, I'm not going to that. You cannot take away from the fact that this man's an OG, okay? I don't care what you say. It takes a different set of cojones to do what he's about to do here. Listen carefully.
The United States does not seek conflict with any other nation. We desire peace, cooperation, and mutual gain with all. But I will never fail to defend America's interests. One of the greatest security threats facing peace-loving nations today is the repressive regime in Iran. The regime's record of death and destruction is well known to us all. Not only is Iran the world's #1 state sponsor of terrorism, but Iran's leaders are fueling the tragic wars in both Syria and Yemen. At the same time, the regime is squandering the nation's wealth and future in a fanatical quest for nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them.
You got muted again, man.
Look, Iran is there. The person he's talking about is sitting right there. 4 rows back. He is talking about Iran to their face.
Yeah. I forgot that this speech was at the United Nations. It was in the building with all of the other representatives of the nations, and he was talking mad shit. Like that's what he was doing at the United Nations as the president of the United States. He's like, I don't care about any of y'all. You mess with us, you get the boot.
He died like a dog.
You die like a dog.
We're gonna have to get a T-shirt that does this. Die like a dog.
Die like a dog. You know, I always wonder, like when they're translating, you know how they have the little headphones on when they're translating? Are they really translating what he's really saying? What if he's like,
I hope so.
China is trash, they're garbage, everything they do for their country, and they're just sitting there listening. That's not what he's saying. You know, Iran, they're a bunch of pig eaters, and they're just putting all this nonsense in their headphones, trying to make them mad.
I want to see the actual like sign language interpreter as he's like saying he died like a dog. Like how that went down. You know? That would have been brilliant.
Here we go.
Never allow this to happen. To stop Iran's path to nuclear weapons and missiles, I withdrew the United States from the terrible Iran nuclear deal, which has very little time remaining, did not allow inspection of important sites, and did not cover ballistic missiles. Following our withdrawal, we have implemented severe economic sanctions on the country. Hoping to free itself from sanctions, the regime has escalated its violent and unprovoked aggression. In response to Iran's recent attack on Saudi Arabian oil facilities, we just imposed the highest level of sanctions on Iran's central bank and sovereign wealth fund. All nations have a duty to act. No responsible government should subsidize Iran's bloodlust.
That is a lot of nuts, people.
Mm-hmm.
I can bet you money you have never heard Obama talk like that.
Yeah.
I can bet you'll never hear Biden talk like, well, you never hear Biden talk fully coherent.
He can't even speak anyway. Yeah.
I pooped my pants.
My
40
butt's been wet.
billion dollars. Again,
No, no.
we are not, at least I, let me say not we, I am not promoting Mr. Trump. I am simply stating a matter of fact of the person he was as president versus the present person that's in the presidency right now. It is night and day. One did not pay for wars, one did not put us in wars, and one did not fund other countries with no end, and one is. And if you look at the definition of treason, there are more than just one person that fit that bill.
Yeah.
Let us
there's
look
a
at
lot
all of them: the president, the vice president, the then and current Speaker of the House. All of these are treasonous acts, by the way. Mr. McCarthy, half, if not more, the Democrat Party, and just under half of the Republicans. I would probably say half of them. So all of them should be removed from office and possibly serve time for sending our funds in the amounts that they have. Ukraine has what now? Almost 300 billion in the black.
Remember.
It's up there.
Yeah. But there's articles of them saying they're stealing like no tomorrow. Right? They're just taking the money we've been giving them and squandering it. Nobody believes that victory against Russia is possible. Nobody.
No, it's never going to happen. This is why, what's his name? Zelensky wants to talk to Trump. Why do you want to talk to Trump?
Because he knows he's going to win.
Yeah, because he knows what he's going to end up doing. He's going to end up spilling the beans to Trump. He's going to tell Trump something just in time for the election.
Yeah.
And Trump's going to have it all. But the thing is, I'm very curious about, you saw that that tweet about all the kickbacks all these governors and stuff were getting. Did you see that? It was like 90 million here, Pelosi 84 million, Biden was 94 million.
Yeah.
Has anybody actually figured out how much money? You said about 300 billion. And then you start adding up all those millions of dollars that each one of those senators got.
Yep.
How much it actually is. You know what I mean? Because if Ukraine needs money and we give them a couple billion, how are they, if they're broke and they don't have the money, how are they funding or how are they giving kickbacks to these people? Because they're just
tell you why.
Money laundering, funneling money.
I'll tell you how. Yeah. Zelensky will tell you exactly how. You want to hear how? This is how.
President Zelensky, thank you so much. Before you go, if you want to share, what keeps you going? Do you ever feel defeated?
I'm scared.
I have a lot of power, but even feeling strong and have a lot of energy, it doesn't mean that we want to fight all our life, because the price is high, like I said, because the war takes the best of us, the best heroes, the best men, women, children. That's it. But we are not ready to give our freedom to this terrorist Putin. That's it. That's why we are fighting. That's it.
President Zelensky, thank you so much.
Hold on. So you can do that on MSNBC?
He can.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my opinions about him, man. And Kat, she said it in the chat. He's a freaking actor, so nobody should be believing anything that's coming out of his mouth.
Wait, you saw him begging for money recently, right?
Begging for more money.
Yeah. Give us credit. We'll pay you back. We'll pay you back. I think Zelensky is scared. Like, legitimately, I think he is scared. Because if he doesn't win, he's screwed. And if he does win, he's screwed. Either way, he's screwed. Like, he's not getting out of any of this because, like, he does have dirt on the U.S.
Yes,
right?
Does. That's a fact.
And the only person that could probably save him is going to be Trump.
Well, back to Johnson. Johnson, that's one thing he needs to look into. He needs to figure out, okay, Zelensky, we've given you X amount of money. I want to know where every single penny went.
Yeah.
That's how you start getting down to things. And they're going to be like, so what's this? What's this? And then you start looking at all this money that was funneled to Ukraine. And then you got to and then they start asking that question.
And then you got to go down the rabbit hole and start asking the questions.
Yeah, go down the rabbit hole. I'm sorry. Go down the rabbit hole. My chihuahua is just always angry. But go down the rabbit hole. Then you start figuring out where this money's going. And everything's going to tie back to who? It's going to tie back to Biden. It's going to tie back to his family. It's going to tie back to Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, all of them. It'll come right back. It's going to come out. It will come out. And mark my words, when Trump talks to Zelensky, Trump's not going to come out and say it immediately. He won't. He's going to hold it. And they're going to be shaking in their boots because they're going to know Zelensky told Trump something. And then when Trump talks to Zelensky, who do you think is going to turn their back on Ukraine?
Yep.
Watch.
He has another solution.
If you can't give us some financial support, okay, please give us a credit and we will give you back money.
Hold 1 second. Hold 1 second. He sounds an awful lot like our president right now.
Yeah.
If you give us money, give us credit, we'll give you back money.
Yeah.
Not the money you lent us, we'll give you back money. And people say, well, that's because he doesn't speak English. Listen carefully. You asking for money that you already got. Let's see now. So let's say I won't go so as a 200. Let's say $130 billion you've gotten so far. And not just once, twice, three, you've gotten almost 5 different payouts of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
I do not believe at this point you need to be begging for more money for something that you've already been paid for, first of all. And you doing that is pretty much akin to, and you can believe what you want, is akin to bribery.
Yeah.
We'll give you something back if you give it. That's exactly what Joe did.
Yeah.
And if he's talking to Joe, hello? Okay. All right. So now we found 5 different instances. So we have 5. Just us 3 on one screen in a half hour. We found 5 impeachable offenses. And you tell me you don't have enough?
Hey, we ain't got no evidence, man. There ain't no evidence to get good old Joe Biden, Scranton Joe.
And if anything, Johnson, look into it. Listen to the people, man. Like, at least look into it. Like, let's say he doesn't find anything. Well, let's look into this stuff. Maybe there's something there, which we know there's something there. But you're not even giving it a chance. You guys talk all this stuff on the House floor. You're talking about Biden this, Biden that, Hunter this, Hunter that. Then you get into a position where you can actually do something about it.
Yeah, if you can't pay back,
you do nothing.
And I have to keep checking everything that pops into my head. Let's find what this is here. Anybody can figure this out, I guess. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say is like the Democrats do a really good job at pretending to care about what voters think, and Republicans pretend they care about what the voters think. And none of these people actually care about what you think. They don't care about what anything has to do with you. It's all about the special interests. We know that.
Okay, Coy, you're up.
Oh, this looks like fun.
You're up. Can Ukraine pay back what they've already gotten so far?
No. There's no way.
No.
We're just looking at their GDP, people. That's all.
I mean, it would take years of that, and they would have to sell out tons of natural resources, which is what a lot of this is going to be about.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you said that, because let's just be honest, they're not going into Ukraine for the people. They're helping Ukraine for something else. Ukraine got resources that America needs. The reason Biden's going in there is to solidify his case for after he leaves the presidency to get more money afterwards. Because the kickback he's going to get from Zelensky after America keeps funneling the war in Ukraine will help him stay afloat in his retirement.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me.
If he doesn't die first. Like, because that's my suspicion is I think Zelensky, at least in the next year or two, is probably going to end up dead. Either from the Russians or the U.S. One of the two. Because the reason I say this is the reason why is what was the top story that's come out in the last couple of days? Do you know?
About him blowing up the pipeline?
Yeah.
Yep.
They found a patsy, a rogue general in Ukraine is the one that they're blaming for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. When we know, in fact, if you remember OceanGate, do you remember that? A bunch of billionaires going down to the bottom of the ocean to see the Titanic. It's not that easy to go underwater very deep and plant explosives. That takes technical know-how and proper training. Ukraine, for all of the money that we've given them, is not capable of performing a sophisticated sabotage operation at the bottom of the ocean.
But Zelensky knows stuff. Ukraine is like, they're a developed country. They deserve a seat at the UN's table. They're smart.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have nukes?
They did until we told them to give them up, and then said we'll protect them. Yeah,
Iran
you
has
probably
nukes, right?
should listen to the U.S. when it says stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Iran. Yeah, they have nukes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hamas.
Probably
yeah. I mean, there was
Well,
Iran.
Hezbollah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know about Hamas, but like,
Same
like,
thing. Same thing.
One
Somebody
towel
could.
versus another. I mean,
Yeah, same, different name, same thing.
black
There
and white
are a lot
towel
of
versus a
nukes.
green and white towel. What's the difference?
Yeah, it's no difference.
You know, there's a lot of broken arrow incidents, right? You know what that is? Broken arrow. It's when like nuclear weapons go missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a surprisingly a lot of nuclear weapons that go missing.
But are they missing or sold?
Who
So
knows? They're probably
sold.
sold. But yeah, they go missing. So,
They-
like that. They go missing.
But you know, if we can sit three podcasters, just normal dudes, you know, just dudes, you know, trying to feed information, if we can sit up here and figure all this out just by paying attention,
Yeah.
watching. Same with the American people here watching right now. We're very observant. We don't forget. We pay attention. How come they can't do it? How come Johnson can't remember what we're remembering? How come he can't pull up what we're remembering? Back to Johnson, because he doesn't want to.
They don't care.
Oh, Long John.
Because I guarantee he's scared too. Because when Trump comes, Trump's coming after them all. And Johnson's
Nobody
probably on
above-
that list. He is on that list.
That's what they keep saying, right? They keep putting in our heads, nobody's above the law,
Mhm.
right? Nobody's above the law, unless it's people we like. That's it. That's the only law of the land. It's people we like, and then everybody else, as long as it's expedient for the party, and by that I mean the establishment and the intelligence agencies, then
And-
that is the only law that matters.
And who knows? Maybe, you know, with Johnson, he's playing a game in my eyes. He knows election time's coming up. He knows his time can be short, very short, right? Election year hits. Let's say Democrats take the majority. Johnson's out, right?
Mhm.
A possibility. So he's like, oh man, I may not even be here any much longer. So I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm not going after him. You know what I
Lame.
mean? Think about that.
Yeah, he's a lame duck. Like, if you really think about it like that, this speaker is a lame duck because he only has what, a year,
Yeah.
if that, in charge, and then they're gonna have to do another round after the mid elections, right? So we've got the general election next year, and they're gonna vote in a new majority or a minority. Doesn't matter. So like he only gets a year, if that.
Did you guys hear anything about the election next year?
No, what
You
election?
know, you know, within certain circles I run in, you know, you know, there's some people out here that run in the same circles.
Yeah.
But there may not be an election.
Yeah.
There may not be one.
Okay. You said it may not be one, but they may, you know.
Mm-hmm.
With Johnson, his money has come under my radar too, where he gets his, who funds him and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for all intents and purposes, we don't know exactly where he gets his money from. And yeah, we have to question, because when you do something dumb, we have to start wondering about who you are. Before we didn't wonder because you were saying all the right things and you had the appearance of wanting to do good. Then when you got the power, you took 15 million steps back. So I got to now wonder if somebody on that side of the aisle has been paying you. And I have a suspicion that you are getting paid like that.
I believe it.
Because nobody, and again, like you said, Coy, to your point, 5 months time, those pieces of evidence don't go away. It's not like you heard some news and it was about Joe Biden wearing an orange shirt one day, and the next day he's not wearing the orange shirt, but you've told me he only owns one pair of shirts, then I can see a blatant line. And I have a reference, but that's not how this is anymore. You had concrete evidence that he had done something while a president. It didn't matter how far back it was. It could have been his first day, his second, third, fourth day. If he did it while he was president, it is warranting an impeachment at the minimum hearing.
Yeah.
Which tells me then, Mr. Mike, you are Mike Pence 2.0. He even talked about the election. For how many times have you spoken about the election?
Yeah.
Et tu, Brute?
Yes, et tu, Brute.
But I mean, these people have been all on the same side. The only person that was on the outs was Donald Trump to begin with. He wasn't supposed to win, right? It wasn't his turn. He broke the cycle because the establishment had all of the people they wanted to be elected. He was not one of them. And that's the only reason he is in the trouble that he's in, is because he wasn't a part of the establishment and didn't play ball when he got in. That is it.
And you know, like we said earlier, Johnson's playing his cards right. You know, he's not going to impeach Biden because there could be a chance that if there is an election that Biden gets reelected or someone on that party gets reelected. Johnson doesn't want to go in with that possibility of someone from that party getting reelected and then the Democrats making their lives living hell. So he's going to play the cards. This is why Coy said he's a lame duck. He knows, you know, 1 year and I'm out.
Yep.
And then if Trump comes after him, at least he could be like, "Oh, deuces, I'm not part of this no more." But can't hide, man. You're not gonna hide from the Don. The Don is coming to get you. You're gonna die like a dog in the street.
If he's like able to swing this, there's a lot of time between now and election next year, next November. There's a lot of time. Anything can happen in that time.
I don't think anything will happen. I'm still sticking to my 2024 prediction of it not happening.
There is no election. Yeah.
No, there is no election.
Like
I
in
stand
Ukraine.
by that 100% still.
Yeah.
I keep looking at how things are going, and I don't see how or why they would allow an election, especially considering that he's ahead by 9 million points at this point.
Right. And they're going to try to do a Hail Mary and bring Newsom out next year. Like, it's probably going to be what, spring when they'll try to actually pull him out? Like, Biden's going to dip out or something like that. I don't know.
Well, you know, what could happen maybe is that the closer it gets to election, that's when they'll probably go after Biden to get him out the running. He'll do a Richard Nixon, you know, he'll just vacate the office. I'm out, you know, and then who steps in? Miss Cackler herself. She steps in, and then who does she pick as her vice?
Newsom.
Mr. Newsom.
I'm gonna say Lee is fine. Lee's at work. Biden will not make election. He's not even going to be on the ticket.
No. I think Bro's right.
I think a couple of weeks before election is supposed to happen, false flag shuts down election because they'll realize that trending is happening away from their party, and boom. I heard that they might lose the Senate too, by the way, the Democrats.
Manchin just
Yep. Now imagine if they lost the Senate and the House and then lost the presidency. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. But I think Bro's right in his analysis that because they can't, like, they have a problem, which is Kamala Harris, right? Because they can't kick her out of the ticket because she's a woman of color and they can't be seen as, you know, kicking a woman of color off the ticket. You know, that's the optics of that is terrible. So they got to find a way to get Newsom on the ticket without getting rid of Kamala. If they're running together as VP and president on the next ticket because Joe Biden's too old and she got her year in office before the election and then she goes back to being vice president or some other BS position or whatever, they can at least get Newsom in at that point because she still gets her historical I'm the first woman president and then she can F off somewhere else. Now we can get Newsom in. You're muted again.
Now I'm talking to myself with that one.
Okay.
I see the theory. I'll raise you one better.
Okay.
if I'm wrong about the 2024, I don't think that they're going to put Newsom as the head runner. I think the same thing they did when they brought Biden out at the last minute. They're going to bring Michael out.
Big Mike.
And I don't mean Michelle. They'll bring Michael out. And they will say, if you don't vote, you're not a very inclusive person. And they'll put him to run.
Take me a second.
With Newsom.
Man, that's a great strategy, Cotton. That's a great strategy. Man.
Old move.
And you know, that's kind of believable, because what vote would they really have to win?
Yeah.
That community. If they can win that whole community's vote, oh my God.
I don't think it'd be enough, though, because the trend right now is that the Democrats have messed up so much, and wokeness is become so toxic, and the Israel and Palestine thing has become so toxic. I don't think even with all of that, they win. I think the numbers aren't on their side.
But see, you got to think like this, man. What is the one demographic that the Democratic Party is terrified to lose support from?
The black population.
The black population.
Yeah.
Now, right now in the polls, what are a lot of black Americans doing now? They are jumping ship to who?
Yeah, Trump.
They're boasting about their support for Trump. Who is one black first lady that just about 90-something% of black people loved?
Sure.
Michelle, right?
Oh, Michelle, yeah.
Michelle. That's kind of pretty good on Marlon's part, because if they did do that, they brought Big Mike in, right? They brought him in. All those black people that were Democrats that are now saying that they're going to vote for Trump would go right back just to get Mike in there.
Big Mike.
So they get Big Mike, they get the black vote back, and it's going to be a lot of them, because right now I think Trump's polling at 20% with black people, a little over 20%. That's going to drop back down to whatever it was, 10%, 9%. And then the LBGTQAWLMOP XYZ they're probably going to get 90-something% of that vote. And then all the virtual signals, all the super lefty, of course, they're going to get those, because they have to be inclusive. Pretty smart.
Okay, if that happened, it might be tight, but I don't know if it'll be enough with the way that the economy and everything else is. It's going to be too tight.
Then if you don't vote for her, you're thisophobic, you're thatophobic, you're racist, and then we just go right back to the drawing.
That only works for so long. I think, like I said, I think the American people are getting sick of it.
Yeah, let's hope.
Because we're doomed. Interesting concept indeed. Very interesting concept. Here's my position on Mike and how this is going to go. I think he was put in there to be a more palpable McCarthy. I think he'll end up doing the exact same thing, but he'll try and do it in a way that will placate to both sides.
Yep.
I think eventually, I'm sorry to say this, but Matt Gaetz will get swallowed up, and he'll become just like the establishment be here before too long.
They're going to get rid of.
Even if they take the Senate, hear me out. Even if they take the Senate, and that's what they're waiting on, to take the Senate, then to start the impeachment process. I think by then there will be way too many rhinos in there. And by then you won't be worried about having to get another president, because they'll say it's election time and they won't bother with the impeachment. His time is almost up anyway. So why worry about it? This is the theory that I think they'll get. If a Democrat eventually wins the election that's not Biden, and they don't keep the Senate and they don't keep the House, I don't think America will see any change in how things are going anyway. So not the Republican, not the Democrat isn't going to end up changing the course of what's happening. They're not going to be able to change the course. What I think they can do is make it easier for the next 4 years on people, at least enough to get a breather. But I think there are too many in the legislative section. That's going to make it difficult regardless of who the president is.
I think, well, yeah, that's a great point. Very interesting. But it all goes back to Donald Trump, right? And we're on here. We're not usually Trump. We're not, but I know where I stand. I know who I'm going to vote for. At the end of the day, if Trump gets in office, I think he's going for all of them, man. I really do. I think he's going for all of them. I think he knows so much underneath it all. I think he knows a lot of the crooks, the rhinos, the money launderers, the thieves, the pedo. I think he knows it all, honestly. I think he knows. He's just waiting. And I think they know he knows. This is why you see a lot of people on the right changing the tune on a lot of things. This is why they're like, we want to censure this person. We want to give this person $1 in their pay. We want to give this person. Why now? All this time you've had, what's his name, Buttigieg, and you had Pierre up there doing all this stuff. Why now? And I'm always asked that question. Why now? Why not a year ago? Why not 2 years ago? Because they were doing the same thing back then. Yeah. So this is them trying to save face just in case Trump gets in there so they can plead their case to him. I did this, I did that. And there's going to be I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of Democrats, a lot of Republicans that are going to go down, and they know it if Trump gets back in office. This is why Trump doesn't have a lot of support.
That's why I don't think he will.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we have the kind of momentum we have now, at least in kind, in 2016? Yeah, we won.
Mm-hmm.
We had double in 2020 and lost.
Yep.
Yeah, I know what happened. Okay, so the reason why, if they don't pull it off with removing it from happening, they'll pull it off with another option when it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
He won't win. There's no way. Something will kick off to prevent it. He gonna end up dead. Something will happen that will not allow the country to retreat from its position and course of crashing. It'll end up going down, and the powers that be are going to love it. We made it to what, 240, 47?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good run.
Yep.
It's a good run. But I don't think America is going to survive this one. I'm not saying that all hell is going to break loose. It might. I don't know. It might. But I don't see him. I don't see him recovering enough ground with the way the Democrats have run things now. He's not going to get traction. Something's going to happen, and it's going to shut it down.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to fix anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in.
I was having this conversation with somebody too. I was just like, it was a friend of mine. We were texting. That doesn't mean anything. But I was talking about how when it comes to 2024, if you see all the protests going on now, pro-Palestine, pro-Israel, pro-this, 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 pro-this.
Mm.
And if it's this bad right now, you wait until, say it happens, Trump wins the nomination, and there's a possibility that he'll win. And like Marlon said, the only thing they can do right now without dropping bombs on people is disrupt communities. If they can disrupt communities, burning down buildings, riots everywhere, people getting this, people getting killed, all this, the president can step in, declare a national emergency, and the elections will be null and void. So that's one of the things they can do, because for me, that'd be very easy to do. All he has to do is say there's too many riots, people are dying, people are getting hurt. For right now, elections are canceled, null and void. We're not Constitution. Everybody's got to lock down. Oh, COVID hit again. Hey, you're locked down anyway. You know what I mean? So I can kind of see where you're going with that. I'd hate to see it happen,
Yeah. Really too. It's a scary time. A lot of unknowns.
Real quick, anybody heard any updates on Maui?
No.
Oh,
what?
Okay.
What happened in Maui?
I know something to do with Oprah happened over there.
Yeah.
Oh.
A lot of missing kids that we don't know what happened. Yeah.
Okay. I want people to. They have announced $150 million recovery fund. That's 3 buildings. I just want people to understand. In Maui, that's about 3 business buildings.
Yeah.
150 million. And how much did Joe Biden ask for? 44 billion for Ukraine lately?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not.
Oh, it's to be split between Israel and Ukraine.
Oh, so again, doesn't that constitute a misdemeanor or a better yet treason,
Yes.
where you turn your back on your own people and you okay, I'm just making sure. Okay. Anybody fix Michigan water yet?
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
got it fixed. It might have.
The Flint water thing got fixed.
Yeah, I think it got fixed. I think there's a few other places though that have bad water, but that's the infrastructure. Who cares about those kids?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying there's quite a few things. In any case, people who wondered about where Lee was, he had to work, last minute schedule change. Wednesday, we're hoping to have a couple of guests on. One in particular is man of justice himself.
The man himself, MOJ.
And I think we need to ask him about the constitutionality of a United States citizenry stepping up to the plate to remove from power legally the current people at the top. I'd like to see what our options are on paper, and I'm pretty sure that man of justice would know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it says it somewhere.
Yeah,
that piece of paper that the law of the land,
some declaration, something or the other.
something.
Yeah.
It's there.
It's
the
in there. Something
Supreme
about
law.
a tree and
Yeah.
something or the
Yeah,
other. I mean, I don't remember these things. It's just a metal piece of paper.
Tar and feathers, stuff like
something
that. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have man of justice on here, and Lee won't have to work, and Simon can join us. But don't forget that Saturday we have the conversation about the Jews and Palestinians coming up. So get ready for that. You guys think of a topic for Wednesday by the chance?
Wednesday?
No, not really yet. I mean, I suggested the MSNBC thing about Trump going to be running concentration camps if he wins.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, let's talk about, I haven't heard about that. Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
how he's going to round up all the immigrants and mass deportation.
There are people getting upset because he says he's going to be instead of saying he's going to be your voice, he's going to be your vengeance, and it's freaking out the establishment. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'd be good. I'll make sure I get a picture of him doing this.
Just angry.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then I'll have in the background a whole bunch of immigrants running away.
It's gonna
I think that'd be amazing. Yeah, I'll make it look good. Yeah. And I think I'll stream that one to TikTok.
The one Wednesday?
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
I'll make. In any case, don't forget to check out our merch too, people. It's out there. Y'all haven't been buying nothing. Like at all. That ain't cool. Man, I thought y'all had our back. Okay. Just saying.
Thank you.
Share, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I know Biden made it tough for you to live, but he didn't make it too hard that your clicker finger didn't work. Okay.
Some of you guys follow me on Facebook too. I know Chris shares a lot.
Yes, Chris always shares.
Yeah. BB, I know she shares.
They do.
But all
they
the
do.
people that follow me, Barbara shares. Everybody that follows me on Facebook. So
Usually a
thank you.
Barbara does use a share. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or whoever else follows me. Don't go look at my hidden folders.
I doubt you can be as bad as Tizzy.
No.
In any case, don't forget to join us on Wednesday when we talk about that. What was it again?
The Trump concentration camp.
Oh, sorry. I forget. I keep forgetting because it's so new to me that Trump was going to run a concentration camp. I didn't.
Basically, that Trump's a dictator and worse than Hitler, like always. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. I'll make sure I put a little thing on his face so it look like he got a mustache. Okay. So don't forget, we'll be here, and don't forget to join us. We'll really appreciate you guys' time. Share, like, or dislike, interact. Cuss us out in the comment section, whatever you got to do, but interact. And we'll appreciate it either way, but we'll catch you guys on the flip side come Wednesday. This is the Savage Patriots checking out. Peace.
War.